All right, boys and girls, how y'all doing today? It's the Chaingang podcast, episode 9. Unfortunately, we don't have Stat Boy for a lot of this episode. We will have him for the game picks at the end, but we sorely miss him this week, so he will be out. But I hope you guys enjoyed our Thursday night preview video. I know I enjoyed doing it with Justin and Stat Boy, so we will probably post those about every week. But again, we got a lot to talk about today. We got some new games I'm trying to throw in, so we'll test them out. Okay, so unfortunately, Derrick Henry went down with injury, so we'll definitely talk about the Titans. We got our new game call time, so we'll do that. We got controversial calls. We finally have a topic that's just about the Patriots, so Justin will really enjoy that one. We'll talk about if they deserve to be a playoff team or if they can be a playoff. And we will finish off with our game picks. But, of course, we always start off the episode with the headlines of the week. And, guys, the first headline that I have is it was the week of upsets. I know I kind of say that probably in a couple of the other headlines, but this was really the week of upsets. First one I got up, the Jets beat the Bengals 34-31. Yeah. What happened?
Mike White's goated.
Mike White.
He threw for like 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Bengals aren't a bad defense. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was gonna say unless you're playing against Mike White. I don't know, but the Jets really pulled one out of their ass this week. This might be the best one-hit wonder game of all time.
He made a really good move by getting hurt immediately after his touchdown pass this past game. Because now it's always what if.
Yeah, right. What could
have been Mike White?
What could have been Mike White? Could he have been better than Zach Wilson?
Could he have been better than Tom Brady at this point?
Yes.
The Patriots beat the Chargers. I wasn't expecting it. Obviously, last week I picked the Chargers because I'm tired of losing, and I still ended up losing. If I just picked the Patriots, I would have been okay. But
you would have picked the Eagles instead of the Lions. You would have been okay.
Look, if they were going to be any team, I thought it could be the Eagles. But I ended up making a pussy move, and I folded on my own team, and that will not happen again. Believe me. But the key to that game was just defense. Adrian Phillips had a huge game. He had 2 big takeaways, one for a pick 6, which obviously was the reason they ended up winning the game. They only won by 3. And I think it all just comes down to defense for that game. Mac Jones has been getting a rhythm. Their rushing game's been pretty all right. And I think things are starting to click with their team.
Yeah, for sure. Their defense definitely stepped up. And, Justin Herbert, he struggled against the Patriots last year. That defense is starting to look up. They're starting to be, I think, like an actual top 10 defense now. I know they were a little shaky, but the Chargers have been kind of struggling since their kind of boom in the first couple of weeks. So they got to find something, to fix it.
I think they struggle with the rush game. I know Austin Eckler is an amazing running back, but he's an amazing passing running back at this point. They're only using him as such. They don't have an actual rush game. I think when the Patriots shut down the pass game, they didn't know what to do. They had nothing else to rely on, and that's tough from an offensive standpoint. Well, as always, Tom Brady's biggest foe since becoming a Buck is the Saints. And he just can't seem to find a way to beat them, especially in the regular season. So Saints won against the Bucks without Jameis Winston too. Jameis Winston went down, ACL, rip Jameis Winston.
Sad to see.
Could have been great, but he's gone. Brady is now 1-3 against the Saints as a Buccaneer. He's thrown 8 interceptions in that amount of time, which is that is not Brady right there. That's not something he does. And for whatever reason, the Saints are the ones who can just bring it out of him. His biggest weaknesses in life, the Saints, the Mannings.
Dude, it's and Marshawn Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore always locks up Mike Evans.
He does.
They have an incredible beef, and I love it. Which, ironically, it's funny because the beef started because Marshawn Lattimore pushed Jameis Winston. And now it's crazy. Crazy stuff.
That is crazy. And round of applause to fucking Sean Payton for winning with Trevor Siemian against the reigning Super Bowl champs. That, like, it blew my mind. I mean, it was 7 the score was 7-7 when Jameis Winston, left the game. And the Saints did a great job of spreading the ball around. They had 5 receivers with at least 30 yards or more. And their defense looked great. I mean, they really did. And the Bucs definitely struggled. They had 11 penalties and 3 turnovers. The Saints got 10 points out of those turnovers. I think they could have tackled Williams or Garner Johnson, whoever the guy was that got the pick 6 at the end. But I don't know what happened there. I think they just gave up. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I think it's just great coaching by Sean Payton. Honestly,
Okay.
I think that's what won them the game. But the final upset we got, arguably the most surprising one, was the Cowboys beating the Vikings on Sunday night without Dak Prescott.
Now, I specifically remember picking up Cooper Rush as my quarterback in fantasy. You told me I was stupid.
Well, I didn't tell you that because you didn't
They
have any other
suck.
option because it was Sunday night and the Monday night game was Giants-Chiefs. So unless Chad Henne would have played, you didn't really have many other options there. But yeah, the Kirk Cousins once again fails on primetime. I don't think he will ever win a primetime game. He will never be a legit quarterback until he can at least play okay in primetime games. He continues to play god awful in all of the primetime games. I don't understand. I don't understand the Vikings in general.
They were such a weird
one
team.
week they almost beat the Cardinals. The next week they lose to the backup quarterback of the Cowboys.
They should just trade Justin Jefferson to the Patriots in the start of the offseason.
Interesting take. Barkley to the Patriots, Jefferson to the Patriots.
Yeah, they'll give up N'Keal Harry for Justin Jefferson.
Straight up trade.
Seems like a fair trade to me.
Straight
Both
up.
Another headline of the week is injuries. Kind of like we saw it last year, but it's definitely starting to pile up now. Things are getting bad. We got some big names out. Derrick Henry's out for at least 9 weeks. Jameis Winston's out for the season with an ACL injury. Daniel Hunter is out with a torn pectoral. It's just injuries are getting bad. Last year I think we blamed on the COVID stuff, the lack of preseason, and it's happening again. I don't know what's going on. They're not feeding the players enough milk or something like that because they're all going down.
They're not putting some in the water.
Yeah.
It's just not there. I don't know. But yeah, I was just saying, always sad to see, especially Jameis Winston. I didn't think the injury, the play that happened when he tore the ACL, I know he definitely hurt something, but I didn't think it would be his ACL. It looked pretty bad. Not a dirty play or anything, just, it's football, so it happens. But really unfortunate for the Titans.
In my fantasy team.
In your fantasy
I have them in
team.
2 leagues.
Yeah, Ryan's fantasy team is way more important. It's a huge hit this week.
Yeah.
But on the side note, the Titans are going to be lost on offense without him. And it's sad to see because they were honestly one of the big contenders this year. And it was a good year to be a contender with the Chiefs struggling as much as they are. So sad to see. Hopefully, they can recover nicely and be back next season. Those are our headlines for the week. But now we are introducing kind of a new thing. Not really, kind of actually flashing back from the Next on Deck days.
Oh, Next on Deck. I remember those guys.
Yeah, they weren't bad, but we're going to pull them out and we're going to do Chaingang players of the week. Each of us are going to give a player that we think played the best this week. So I'll go first. This might be an easy one, but I think Mike White played the best. He was probably your guys' too. I don't know, but man put up amazing numbers in his first career start, honestly, against a solid Bengals defense. And I know he had 2 interceptions, and, Matthew Stafford played better on paper, but it was against the Texans, and, it's the Rams. So, I think overall, when you put, the chemistry and atmosphere, everything like that together, I think Mike White overall played better. So it's my player of the week this week.
I kind of figured Mike White would be the easy one to take, so I went a different route. Obviously, Mike White was the player of the week. But first off, I have his teammate, Michael Carter, absolute stud. Throughout the season, he's really just been progressing, and you see him getting more involved in the passing game, and he's a serious rusher. Defenses have to take him seriously, and you see him playing. I think he can be a 3-down back in this league. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
really
Mhm.
have a lot of hope for him. And last week, he put up a little over 170 yards and a touchdown. That's nothing to scoff at, especially for a rookie running back. On top of that, my honorable mention was Adrian Phillips with his 2 picks against the Chargers. But I just felt like Michael Carter contributed more to the Jets win.
Yeah, I agree. Great pick. And Michael Carter honestly looked good against the Colts last night, even though he didn't put up major numbers or anything like that. Like Ty Johnson said, he already looks like a veteran, and I think he has some potential in this league for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Who'd have thought that our players of the week, 2 of them would be coming from the Jets?
Yeah,
it's just.
I would have bet my savings account that
it would never be.
It would never would happen. But
what can I say?
Here we are.
Rid of Zach Wilson. All of a sudden, it's
yeah, exactly.
There was some good games this week. My guy, the guy who probably could have said a couple different games this year. He's been having a great season, but Deebo Samuel absolutely went off. 6 receptions for 171 yards.
Holy shit!
That's almost 30 yards a catch. That is absolutely disgusting. Like I just don't understand how that even happens. But dude was a freaking animal, and he has been all season. He's proven himself as a wide receiver 1 now, which was something not everyone really thought he was coming out of last year, and he is a beast.
Yeah, he really is. And I think that, like, I don't know if it was like that 80-yard screenplay or whatever that was against the Bears. That definitely helped his stats for sure. But even without that, still had a great game. And, Deebo is solidifying himself as a wide receiver 1. And like you said, I don't think anybody could have expected that, especially since the 49ers are mostly a run-heavy offense.
Usually there are no wide receiver 1s.
Exactly. So those are our players of the week. Let us know if we should keep doing that. I kind of like throwing it back to the next on deck days. It's always good to mix stuff in. But the next topic I want to go over is the Titans. Derrick Henry unfortunately is out for the season with a foot injury and may or may not be back for the playoffs. I guess they're not really sure. It depends on his recovery. My question for you guys is, can the Titans still make a playoff run here? Do you see the Colts beating them out for the division with them not having Derrick Henry?
I think the Colts have looked really good, especially like last night. I know I guess the Jets, but the Jets defense is terrible, and their run game with their line is just insane. And Carson Wentz was kind of finding himself last night. He was being able to throw in the boot again, which is one of his favorite things to do. They gave him some easy passes that kind of got his confidence built back up after those interceptions. I like the way the Colts are looking recently on that up, and I think the Titans have just been. It's just been Derrick Henry football for so long. I don't think they're going to know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off that, I definitely think the Colts stand a chance. And the Titans aren't the Titans without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the Titans. They have decent receivers, but they've been out a lot this year. Ryan Tannehill is an aging quarterback. He's okay, but I wouldn't expect anything crazy from him. And without Derrick Henry to really put defenses on edge, I just don't think they have it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone realized, honestly, how – I mean, I'm sure there was some attention to how bad that offensive line is because Ryan Tannehill, I guess he hasn't said that, but I don't think anyone has really paid attention to how bad that offensive line has actually been. I mean, there's some games where Derrick Henry averages 3 yards a carry, which is things to be, it's like unthinkable, honestly, that, he would only put up 3 yards a carry, but that's honestly how bad this offensive line has been. And, without him, they're not going to have a run game. It's going to be non-existent. I'm sorry, Adrian Peterson, but your old ass can't really run behind that broken O-line, anymore like you used to. So I think the Titans are really going to struggle. Teams are going to be blitzing him like a rookie quarterback. It's going to be bad. A.J. Brown is going to put up some good numbers. But like you guys said, the offense is going to be lost without Derrick Henry. They're not going to know what to do. And, kind of piggybacking also on what Ryan said, the Colts have been looking really good. After starting off 0-3, they're starting to look like a playoff team. Carson Wentz still needs to get over some of the prime time interceptions that he's been throwing in really close game situations. But their run game is insane. Their run game's there. Their defense is getting better week by week. So honestly, I see the Colts eking them out for the division here. if they can keep it going. But I don't know. The Titans maybe get a wild card spot because they're 6-2 right now. So I don't think they're going to be like god awful. I think they're going to be about 500. And I think that will push them into the playoffs, but I don't see them going anywhere here. It's unfortunate that they lose Derrick Henry, but they're not going to have an offense without him. So that's for sure. So cover the Titans this week, but we got a new segment this week, call time, where players or coaches are going to call us, and we're going to answer questions for them and, explain to them what they should do. The guys that are in the tricky situations, we're going to help them get out of it. Okay. Oh, so sounds like we got our first caller. This would.
Hey, it's me, Odell Beckham Jr.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna be. You can't fucking hear what they're saying, okay? I can. You can get the next one.
Nobody really explained the thing to me. I thought I was helping.
Fuck you, Ryan.
It's me. Okay, all right. Do the ring.
Ring.
Sounds like we got our first caller.
Ring.
Hello? Yeah. Oh, hey, OBJ. How you doing? Oh, just shitting on girls? Okay. Sorry about the release, man. That sucks. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll help you out. Just tune in the podcast to find the answer. We don't have time to talk about this on the phone right now, okay? All right. Keep shitting on girls. All right. Have fun, buddy.
Real quick. Did Odell shit on a girl? Did I miss something?
Last year there was this like rumor that went around that Odell was really into like shitting on people and getting shit on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did hear about that. Never mind.
Yeah, there was like
something came up.
No new shit, just old shit.
Yeah.
Same shit,
Old
different
shit.
day.
All right, bet. Same old shit.
All right, guys.
Same shit, different ass.
Well, it's all the same ass, but it's just
Can that be our tagline for the podcast?
same shit, different ass. Okay. All right. Well, boys, I just got off the phone with OBJ, as you heard, and he just got released by the Browns, and he's kind of happy about it. Honestly, he sounded pretty joyous about it. But he doesn't know where the fuck he wants to go. So we have to basically tell him where he should go. We are in charge, and OBJ does listen to us and this podcast. So we got to answer it for him. So answer OBJ's question, guys. Where do you think he should go?
The Browns.
I heard they did just lose a receiver. They might be in the market.
You guys fucking suck. Okay, the Packers should take him for sure. It feels like an obvious destination for him. The Packers are a Super Bowl team, and they are lacking in the wide receiver department. Him and Devontae Adams would be a great duo. I think him and Aaron Rodgers would get along very well, and I think he would enjoy Green Bay. As I think he wanted to be traded to them before, but never was.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, that the Saints were, I think, actually the only team to call up about him during the trade deadline. So, and especially with Michael Thomas out for the rest of the year, maybe the Saints actually need him more.
Yeah, I think the Saints need him more just because, at this point, they have everyone. Marquez Callaway is one of the top receivers. And, you're not going to be a Super Bowl team with that.
Right.
The Packers need receivers, but they do have Devontae Adams. I also think there'd be a struggle with power with the duo because they're both very prideful receivers, and I think there would just be a little bit of something going on.
But don't you think OBJ is kind of humble enough to? Okay. Let me restate that. Don't you think OBJ realizes that Devontae Adams is way better than him?
I don't think
Devontae Adams is in his prime, and OBJ is kind of at the end.
True. I think he'd have to. One of them. They both have. OBJ would have to kind of humble himself a little bit.
I would really hope so.
But I do think he'd like playing with Aaron Rodgers, and I think he'd be good with the Saints. They need him. And I'll also speak for Statboy. Statboy and Blueburn are quite interested in the Eagles heading their way. And the Eagles are pretty high on the waiver wire for him. So for this week, that is. So.
They don't need another 5'11" fast receiver. That's all they have. I don't understand this. Statboy also said last week that oh, like Brandon Cooks or Deshaun Jackson. I'm like, no, fucking idiot. You need like a Calvin. Well, okay, obviously, they're not going to get a Calvin Johnson, but you know what I mean, like a Calvin Johnson type, like 6'5" dude that's going to go up, catch.
Deshaun Jackson's
that's
gone, so maybe Odell could replace him.
Well, maybe the Browns will sign Deshaun Jackson.
Oh,
Losing Odell.
Look, I actually really like the Green Bay. If Devontae Adams and him could work out their egos, I think OBJ would be a great accent piece. He's great with deep routes, and I think that would give Aaron Rodgers just another really solid weapon. But with that being said, I don't see him going to the Saints, like Ryan said. I think he'd want to go to a contender, and I don't think the Saints are anywhere near that, especially with Jameis Winston out. Personally, I would love to see him go to the Pats. Obviously, they're lacking a wide receiver one, but I don't think his play style fits the Pats right now. Mac Jones isn't throwing it deep that much, which is OBJ's specialty, obviously, and I just don't think that he would contribute as much as I would like him to the team. But I would really like to see him go to Baltimore. First off, there'd be a little bit of rivalry between them and the Browns. You could have some revenge games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I really just think he'd fit in there. I mean, what the fuck? Hollywood Brown. He is a deep route runner, and I really just don't think Sammy Watkins has panned out the way they've wanted him to. So having another really solid, reliable receiver that could go up and get a ball when Lamar Jackson isn't running for 3 quarters, I think would be really useful to them. And obviously, I think they're one of the best teams in the league and definitely could see them making a push for a Super Bowl this year. So I think that could be a possible destination for
them. I think OBJ would be a good fit, but like Ryan was talking about, just with his ego, I don't think he would get the ball enough in a that heavy of a run offense for him to want to actually go to the Ravens. So I see the Ravens probably reaching out to him, but I don't see him personally having much interest in the Ravens.
I know he has a pretty close friendship with Lamar Jackson, which could be a huge selling point. Okay. And I think more than anything, he's an aging receiver. He wants to win a championship. I'd even say more so than he wants an ego or wants to, boost his ego. I think he knows he's an aging receiver and he only has a limited window, a year or two left of being productive. And I think Baltimore could be a great spot where he gets, a good share of the catches or a good share of the targets and, can make a push for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I will say, I did laugh at first when you said the Patriots because, obviously I feel like anytime we talk about, someone getting traded or signed or whatever, you bring up the Patriots.
Patriots are always a good spot.
Well, I'm not going to lie, though. The Patriots are actually starting to become kind of a contending team. And they do need – they have some mediocre receivers. They're okay, but adding OBJ to that team would actually be kind of nice. My only problem is, though, that I don't think Mac Jones throws the deep ball enough to –
That's not the play style.
Right. But I think OBJ would be an okay option for them if, they had a guy that, Mac Jones threw the ball deep. But that's it could be a solid team. But honestly, I also like the Raiders. Unfortunately, they had to release Henry Ruggs, after his accident. So they do kind of need that deep ball guy. And I think Odell would be perfect. And Derek Carr, it's a very pass-heavy offense. So Derek Carr would get a lot of targets on that offense, especially as, the new wide receiver one.
Yeah, at this point, the Raiders aren't out of contention.
Oh, God, no.
So,
There's six.
With Odell, they'd absolutely be a good team. He wouldn't be going to a trash team.
Right. Yeah.
I think having a solid deep threat wide receiver one on the Raiders would be huge for their offense. That's kind of the position Henry Ruggs filled. Obviously, he's not there anymore, and I think OBJ could fill that role better, and that would open up some easier targets, take some pressure off Henry Renfrow, and I can't remember his name right now, but they have another up-and-coming rookie who's been playing pretty well. Ryan Edwards, he's been playing pretty well in the last couple games. He had, a winning walk-off touchdown, and that's huge. And I just think having a serious target out there to kind of bring out some of their DBs would be huge for opening those guys up.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot of places OBJ could go. But we gave him some good options. So we're gonna see which one he takes. I think honestly, I don't think he'll go outside any of the teams. that we just listed. Ryan, you're going to be taking the next call. Ring, 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 ring.
Oh, the phone. Hello, Chaingang Podcast. Oh, what's up, LaFleur? It's Matt LaFleur from the Packers. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a tough game against the Chiefs, I'll be honest. You're starting Jordan Love, right? Okay. Ooh, how are you going to beat them? Well, there's only 3 guys I know that can answer that question. You're going to have to watch a video to find out. So my boy Matt LaFleur would like to know how in God's green earth is he going to beat the Chiefs with Jordan Love?
Well, I'll be honest. If any team, I think that he could beat with Jordan Love, like that's actually like a solid team. It is the Chiefs because their defense is so garbage. And the Packers. I don't think he has to worry about the defensive game as much because, as we will say, I guess, Jair Alexander is back this week. So they can have confidence that they have an option to kind of shut down Tyreek Hill. And again, they just have to worry about Kelsey this week. But when it comes offensively, the Chiefs defense has been garbage the entire year. One of the worst defenses in the league. I feel like they just got to pound the ball with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I think that's going to be the key. Get the run game down. Give Jordan Love some confidence. Just set him up with some screen passes. Just short passes. Build up his confidence throughout the game. Because we know he has the ability to hit those deep throws, but you don't really want him slinging. In the first quarter, whatever, the first couple plays of the game. So I say short screen passes, get the run game going. I think that will really open up the Packers offense for them and give Jordan Love the confidence he needs to win this game.
I agree. I think his confidence is going to be huge. Obviously, Aaron Jones is great with that screen pass. It's not going to be hard to be hitting him on that.
Right.
And also, like as bad as the Chiefs' defense is, I think that's good for Jordan Love. That 1, he won't be pressured too much, and 2, if he does end up out of the pocket, he's not going to be super worried. He can make a play out there. He's got the speed. He's got the throw. He can either throw it or he can run it at that point. And the defense isn't going to be all up in his face every single play because of how bad the defense is. And the Chiefs' offense just isn't what they were, and especially if you shut down Tyreek Hill, which I think Jair Alexander can do.
100%.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Jordan Love really just has to come out with some confidence. He has to be willing to throw the ball, take some risks. And if they can kind of ease him into it with if they can kind of ease him in with some short passes, like you said, screens and stuff, just let him build up some confidence. I think that's going to be huge. He is a talented quarterback. We haven't seen a ton of him, but he was a first-round pick, and he was a first-round pick for a reason. He just happens to be starting behind or coming in behind one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And on top of that, the real key to the game, besides getting Jordan Love to have a decent game, is just cutting off passing lanes. The Chiefs, especially with Clyde Edward-Helaire being out, they don't have much of a rush game at all. So they're really relying on pass. And if they can shut down Tyreek Hill and just keep those passing lanes cut off and just get in Patrick Mahomes' head, that's going to be huge for them.
Agree.
Sorry.
I'm really no, you're good. Yeah, I agree with what y'all said for sure. Like you said, Justin, not having Clyde Edwards-Helaire really shuts down the Chiefs. But I'm really excited to see Jordan Love play against the Chiefs. This will be opening up to what the Packers are going to be next year, because obviously Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to be gone. 100% he's leaving. So it will give us a new look on what the Packers can do. Even though he would be great on the Steelers. The Steelers have all the pieces, really. They just need a quarterback. So next topic we got up, of course, we got our controversial calls for the week, and I will say we got a couple of interesting calls this week. This one, in my opinion, is the most controversial, and I think I'm really interested to hear what you guys think here. I think you're going to know what's about to happen, but it's going to be – this was a kind of game-deciding call when you think about it. 3rd and 11, Jets need a first down, to kind of put the game away. So, I'm going to let the video take it away. And, you guys will obviously see the call, and then we will make our judgment. Boom.
What was the call there, Dylan?
It was helmet to helmet, and it was on Mike Hilton.
Okay.
It was, yeah. So
it was on the Bengals.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So we'll run it back again. But okay, unnecessary reference. But as you see, Ty Johnson does lower his head into Mike Hilton.
Yeah, you can't ask Mike Hilton to be any lower than that tackle already was.
Right. Both of them kind of, lower themselves.
I think Hilton was way lower way earlier, and Ty Johnson came down to his head, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think this should have been, offense. They should have called on Ty Johnson.
Called on Ty Johnson. Watch, Mike Hilton's already going down here, and then Ty Johnson literally bends his neck. Mike Hilton bends at his knees and his back, whereas Johnson solely lowers his head for some reason. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm already not a huge fan of the league's current targeting rules. I think it's kind of soft. I think they should allow a little more leeway, case by case basis. But it seems like anytime helmets connect, they make the call. So it is what it is. By the rules, I think it probably was a good call, but I just don't agree with the league's rules.
Yeah, I agree here. I just don't. This should have been called on Ty Johnson, honestly. And, this was the reason why, honestly, the Bengals didn't win. I mean, obviously, they still had to go down the field and put up at least a field goal. But, this was a huge call here, and I think they fucked it up. Because I agree with you guys, Ty Johnson did lower his head. And as the defender, he can't really do much else there. There's really nothing you can do. Because Mike Hilton's going for the legs. He's not a big guy. He's not going to be able to truck a running back, unless he's got some momentum behind him. But yeah, so I think the refs made the wrong call here. But we will see on the next call if they made the right decision or if they aren't. But as you can probably see in the title of this YouTube video, that the announcers didn't agree with this one. But we're going to look this one over and see what we think. So, just looks like a casual sack here. But there was a roughing the passer call on this play.
I think with the way the rules are for roughing the passer, that is a roughing the passer because he landed on top of him. And that's like one of the big things they look for is if you're supposed to get your body weight off of him. And he picked up the leg, and I know he tried to catch himself a little bit, but I think the biggest thing was when he picked up the leg. When he picked up the leg and still landed on him, I think that's what really draws in the roughing the passer. And I don't like the way the rules are,
right?
But as the rules stand, I believe that's a good call.
Agreed. I mean, you can see him. The ball is out at least a little bit before he makes contact with him. Like Brian said, he lifted up the leg and then landed on top of him. By rule definition, I think that's a pretty clear-cut call.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think he kind of got out of the way, as much as he could have there. And I don't think
he landed on his stomach, dude.
His arm was on his stomach, but he kind of rolled over to the side. Because Kirk Cousins' knees are kind of up when he falls down, so he's more falling on his knees than his stomach. But I don't know, man. This just seems, it doesn't seem like roughing the passer. I understand, with the new rules, whatever, this might be a call, but I think this is a bad call by the refs here. I don't think that, this was a roughing the passer call, and I think that they kind of fucked the Cowboys over in that respect.
Well, luckily didn't cost the Cowboys the game.
That's true. They did still win. Yeah, so those are kind of our controversial calls for the league. Let us know what you guys think about some of the calls that were made. I think we all agreed on the Mike Hilton helmet-to-helmet one. But roughing the passer is always tough these days. To kind of decide, what is and isn't. So we will try to figure that out as we continue. But on to our last topic before our Week 9 picks. The Patriots recently beat the Chargers, and they're looking pretty good, honestly. With Mac Jones at the helm, I think he's surprising a lot of people. my question to you guys is, do the Patriots deserve to be a playoff team? Do you think they will be a playoff team? What are your thoughts on the Patriots?
I really think that the playoffs is theirs to make. It really depends on them. I think they have the talent to do it. And I think with their coming up schedule, I think they have a chance to do it. It really just depends. Throughout the beginning of the season, they had a lot of trouble converting on third downs. Fourth downs, a few times they went for it. They had trouble stopping teams on third downs and fourth downs, which was huge. I mean, if they could have stopped a couple of third downs, they could have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they came back to New England. And that would have been huge. But obviously they didn't. And also some penalties, some penalty troubles. Michael Owenu has had some penalty troubles in a couple games. And really just cleaning that kind of just little things up would really, really help them along. So I definitely think they have a chance, and I really hope they make the playoffs. But, we'll see how they play through the back half of the season.
Yeah, agreed. And, the Patriots, it's not like they're better than their 4-4 record, I will say. Obviously 2 of those wins are against the Jets. So, take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But they did beat the Chargers, a very good team, with a thriving offense, and they limited them to 24 points, and got 2 interceptions on Justin Herbert. So, Patriots doing a great job bringing the pressure. Matthew Judon has been a huge addition for this defense, and I think having all the defensive pieces back this year, is been huge for them. So this defense is really going to be the decider, I think, in whether they make the playoffs or not. They just got to keep up what they're doing, and the offense has got to put up, solid numbers, I was going to say. But they do have a top 10 offense and defense, which is very impressive, because I thought there was no way they had a top 10 offense, with Mac Jones, because he can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, I think that's more of Belichick's offense, like his just general scheme. You saw the same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was very efficient downfield. He just didn't make a lot of downfield passes. And I think Mac Jones has the ability to. I think it's something he can definitely work on, but when he has to, I think he makes them pretty consistently. Mm-hmm. I just think it's more of, the nature of his offense. And with that being said, I think Mac Jones has been looking terrific through the last 4 games. I think he's had some a 77% completion rating. He's averaging 240 yards a game, looking really good. He's really starting to come into his own. And as he grows, I think the team is going to grow with him.
I think they've been looking better than I originally thought they'd look. Mac Jones was just unproven, and he's not exactly, he's yet to prove himself as the best guy, but he's obviously done way better than a lot of the other rookie quarterbacks, honestly. He's proven himself to be, no doubt, a first-round quarterback, and that's helping them a lot. And I think the defense is looking very good. Now they're getting their pieces together. They're kind of filling themselves, whatever they need to do there. Like Justin said, kind of cleaning up some of the small stuff, really changing the pattern of the game. I think one of the big things that they are kind of on the up right now, is they got to get their running game a little bit more involved. They don't have a huge run game to rely on, which is tough. It's not bad. It's just not great.
Right.
So that's just something they can work on. That's going to really put themselves over the edge. And I think they can be a playoff team. And honestly, the AFC is real weird right now. In general, it's kind of a flip flop around. You never know who's on top, and it's not as competitive as the NFC is this year. And so, which makes it that much more likely the Patriots can get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have their chance.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people kind of underlook is quarterbacks don't have to put up 300-yard passing yards a game to be able to win. I think Mac Jones is showing that he is able to succeed in this offense without putting up huge numbers. And I think that's key. Kind of just getting everyone involved. Because that makes the defense kind of have to be on their toes. It makes them question things for sure. So Bill Belichick is doing a great job. Putting Mac Jones, in this offense seems like the perfect offense for him. But I do agree. I feel like they got to get more guys going than Damian Harris. I would like Stevenson or Brandon Bolden to get more involved in the rush game for sure. I think that's really going to open up their offense. But, kind of on a separate note, I think that, the Patriots have beaten really good teams. I will say, maybe not beaten good teams, but they've been pretty close, in their games against good teams. They only lost by 2 to the Bucks No, okay, thanks. They've been really good against contending teams. You know, they only lost by 2 to the Bucks. They took the Cowboys to overtime, and they beat the Chargers. So this team is capable of hanging with the contending teams. It's just, you know, they just all need to put it together. They just need to stay healthy. You know, so I think this team has a chance to make the playoffs. I really do. But like, you know, because obviously the Bills are going to take the division. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. But so if the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, they are going to have to take the wild card spot. So what wild card AFC teams do you think they can beat out to kind of get those final spots? Because like what teams are we thinking are going to make the wild card here? Probably the Bengals.
Well, it depends. I say whichever team does so. Bengals, Ravens for the AFC for the division, and whichever one doesn't make it will be a wild card.
Okay, so
one of those two.
One of those two.
I'd say the Ravens probably win the division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Wild card.
Yeah, and then thinking probably either the Colts or the Titans. I think are going to be in contention for a wild card. Raiders for sure if the Chargers don't win that division. So it's basically Patriots. I'm going to assume the Chargers are going to win the division. So I'm going to say Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, Colts or Titans. So I believe 3 wild card spots. Okay, so do you guys see the Patriots beating out? They got to beat at least one of those teams out. So do you think they can?
I definitely could. I think the Raiders are the best of those teams that you listed off, and I think the Patriots on a good day could be 100% competitive with the Raiders. You know, we've seen them go against the Chargers, obviously, who I think are a better team than the Raiders. They've been competitive with the Bucks, who are definitely a better team than the Raiders, and so being competitive for sure. And then I definitely think they'd have a strong chance to win against the Colts, definitely against the Titans if they don't have Derrick Henry. The Bengals, I think they could definitely hang there with. So I think they have a chance. Like I said earlier, I think it's their choice essentially to miss the playoffs. It depends on how they perform, but I think they have a chance.
All right. Well, you know, we got our last topic of the day. Unfortunately, Stat Boy has to leave for some retreat or
the Egg family getaway.
Yeah, apparently, Stat Boy has to leave for some kind of cult meeting thing, you know. So unfortunately, the game picks are the only thing he's going to be able to do with us this week. But at least we got him for some of the podcast this week. You know, he's got a busy schedule, so I'm glad he could finish.
Some Stat Boy's always better than most.
Exactly. So Stat Boy, like we do for game picks, I want you to go over our records from last week and tell us who's going to get the punishment this week.
All right, our last week records. We only have 1 winner and 2 tied for second. The winner was Ryan with a record of 9-5.
Yeah.
And the ones that were tied are Justin and Dylan. A couple of the losses that you guys did not pick correctly. Justin, you picked the Lions, the Jags, and the Chargers to win, which that did not pan out. Eagles. For Dylan, you picked the Vikings, the Jags, and Washington. Ryan, only 5 losses. None of those were really bad. So good job, Brian.
Justin, you fucked yourself over with the Lions, and then not the first week you didn't go with the Pats. They won.
Yeah.
Justin just expects it at this. But Ryan, I know I probably didn't give you too much time to think.
It's okay. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I will have the 2 of you send me a shirtless picture of you, and then I will create a post to color coordinated.
Okay.
That's all. That's it.
Okay, hold on. So where is this gonna go? Okay. So not on our personal Instagram.
No. Well, maybe too. Yeah.
I don't know why I said anything, but I say it's just on the Chaingang story.
All right, Chaingang.
What are you doing with my shirtless picture?
You'll find out.
We probably just drawing a bunch of dicks on it. I can't imagine there's really much else.
It's tough to say what's gonna happen. Basically, I'm gonna take them, and they will be on the story of the Chaingang podcast, and also your story, Dylan, and Justin's story.
I posted a
Okay.
shirtless picture on my private story.
Okay. Well, Justin, you should feel better about posting a shirtless pic than me because I got the little baby nipples over here. So like, I'm gonna be exposed. It's my baby nipples are gonna be out. Oh shit. Okay. Well, those are our punishments for this week. We really all fucked the bed here. Well, I mean, I guess Ryan had a pretty good.
You fucked the bed.
Fucked the bed.
We fucked the bed.
Classic memory foam bed.
Exactly, bro. We fucked it, and yeah. So at least Justin, we finished at 500. That's something. That's whatever. But yes. So those are our punishments this week. We actually just started posting actual punishments on our story, so make sure to check them out. I think they're funny as fuck. The Stat Boy wife beater might have to be our profile picture at some point.
Oh man,
he was looking pretty sexy in class today. But as you know, we're filming this on a Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed our Thursday night preview video. I know I enjoyed doing it with Justin, Stat Boy. I think we will continue to do those as it is productive, considering that we do always miss the Thursday night game.
Okay, so Justin picked the Colts to win 35-24. Dylan picked Colts to win 24-14, and I picked the Colts to win 28-14.
That was the closest.
All right, so
I think it was
Justin.
Yeah, we're all
sure it was Justin.
Want to know. Justin was the closest, and I remember saying before the video that there was no way the Jets put up 34 points, and they put up 30, so they were pretty damn close. It was a complete blowout, though. Not a total surprise, but Mike White getting injured really,
it sucks.
It was a real bummer. To say that much. But Stat Boy, let's get into the 1:00 games.
All right, starting off, Vikings-Ravens. Vikings will be without Daniel Hunter and potentially Anthony Barr. Ravens are Rashad Bateman is questionable and Latavius Murray is questionable. What do we think, guys?
Give me the Ravens.
I agree, the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Ravens all the way. Patriots, Panthers. For the Patriots, J.C. Jackson is questionable, along with Dante Hightower and Kyle Van Noy. Panthers, Sam Darnold is questionable, but Christian McCaffrey could return. What do we think?
Give me the Patriots.
I agree, Patriots.
I think I have to go with the Patriots. If Sam Darnold doesn't play, I mean, they're kind of fucked.
All right, a good game on the 1 p.m. slate. Browns-Bengals. OBJ is gone after being released. He caused some locker room tension before and after with comments from Baker and whatnot, saying that they were not surprised and not hurt at all. The Browns have only scored 41 points in the last 3 games. So this is a big division game for both teams. I could argue that it's a must-win for the Browns and for the Bengals after coming off a pretty bad loss. Some injuries for the Browns. Javen Clowney, Jack Conklin is out. Kareem Hunt is out. John Johnson is questionable. Denzel Ward is questionable, along with Jarek Wills. The Bengals don't have any serious injuries. They're good to go. What do we think, guys?
Give me the Bengals. I think the Browns are reverting to their dysfunctional ways.
I agree. The Browns offense just looks like dog water right now. They can't move the ball. They can't do anything. Baker's playing injured. Stefanski isn't making the best calls. So I agree. I'm taking the Bengals. I think they're going to really rebound at home after a really brutal loss to the Jets. It's always hard, when you're in contention and you lose to a team like the Jets. So I think they're going to be fighting hard this week to really solidify, themselves as actual contenders. So the Browns need to get Chubb more involved, and it's just not happening. So nothing is clicking on that Browns offense. So give me the Bengals.
I concur completely. Somehow the Browns did worse on offense than the Steelers last week, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, it really is.
It's hard to do.
Broncos, Cowboys. For the Broncos, Bradley Chubb is supposed to return. Von Miller is in LA right now. They have nobody there on defense. And Noah Fant is out. For the Cowboys, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb are questionable. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. Michael Gallup, though, is set to make his return. Game
The
picks.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys all day.
Give me the Cowboys.
Next, Bills, Jags. For the Bills, Cole Beasley is questionable. Dawson No is out, and Jordan Power is questionable. For the Jags, James Robinson is also questionable. What do we think?
Give me the Bills. Easy.
Bills.
I totally mistyped Dawson Knox. It says Dawson No. So Dawson Knox is out this week. But it's not going to matter because the Bills are going to take it.
True. All right. Texans, Dolphins. Tyrod Taylor is supposed to come back. Tunsil is out. For the Dolphins, Jerome Baker is questionable. Will Fuller is out. And Devontae Parker is questionable. Tua, questionable. Just pick
Give me
him
the
up. Hopefully he
Texans.
doesn't.
I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yep. Fully agree. Tyrod Taylor's going to bring him back to a dub this
All
week.
right. Falcons, Saints. Falcons are missing Calvin Ridley. Saints, Jameis Winston is out for the year. Terran Armstead is questionable, and Taysom Hill is questionable.
I'm taking the Saints.
I don't know, dude. It's rough not having a starting quarterback. But, I guess they have Taysom Hill. Yeah, I'll go with the Saints.
Well, they might not have Taysom Hill, though.
He's questionable.
I'll go with the Saints.
I got Saints as well.
Raiders, Giants. Raiders, no more injuries besides Henry Ruggs getting to a little bit of a fender bender. The Giants, Saquon is questionable. Kenny Golladay is questionable. Sterling Shepard is doubtful. And Kadarius Toney is questionable.
Raiders and Saquon should be traded.
Raiders, the trade deadline already happened.
Yes.
I know
I'm
it
going-
had. But I stand by everything I said last week.
I'm going with the Raiders, but I will say, Justin, I was disappointed that you got as much, not praise, but people actually agreed with you.
Because I make good-ass points.
It was just frustrating because it's like Saquon.
He's such a staple.
Too soon.
You're just a dick rider.
Too soon.
All right, for the 4 p.m. games, starting it off, Chargers, Eagles. Chargers will be potentially without Asante Samuel, and Eagles, Miles Sanders is still out.
Sonny Samuel Jr., excuse you.
Ooh.
Well, I don't think Asante Samuel's playing either, but
Yeah.
Yeah. It's out for this game too, but it's not going to matter because I'm taking the Chargers.
Chargers.
Oh, I thought it was me one of Justin's upset picks. He looked like he was
Oh,
he
man.
pulled us at the hezzy.
All right, a good one. Packers, Chiefs. Jordan Love will make his first career start after Aaron Rodgers is out with COVID. Mahomes has had an interception in every single game since week 2. Tyreek Hill has not gotten over 100 yards since week 4. And Jair Alexander is expected to make his return. Some injuries to the Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is out for a couple weeks. And for the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out.
No, give me the Packers.
Okay.
hold on. Right, are you okay? All
You guys
I see
good?
Is him just softly hitting himself with the landline, and he just puts his hands in his head in his hands, and he looks up, and his face is beaming red, beaming.
Did you
Is
hit
it
yourself in the
hot
eye
here?
or something? Oh, it did hit him in the eye.
Oh, you hit yourself in the eye?
Oh.
You hit yourself in the eye? No, I'm fine. He hit himself in the eye.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
I'm just not very confident in the Chiefs' offense right now. You know, they haven't been producing at the levels we've seen in previous years, and their defense is just, it's never been great, but it's underperforming this year, especially. And I think the Packers defense and their run game is going to be able to hold them out. And I have a little bit of confidence in Jordan Love, so I'm going with the Packers.
Even though he's a backup quarterback?
He is a young backup quarterback. That's a different story.
Oh, it's different. It's different. So, man, this is a really tough one because Jair Alexander is coming back, and I think he is going to be able to take, Tyreek Hill out of this game. Mahomes has been struggling. This would be a tough week for him to come back, but I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think this is, Mahomes started to look better last week. He really did, even though, he threw an interception and they didn't really win as much as they should have against the Giants. I still believe in the Chiefs this week. They're going to be at home. Mahomes is starting to make better decisions and be less indecisive and just giving what the defense takes him instead of just trying to make something out of nothing every single play. So I'm confident that Mahomes is going to get it back on track this week. And with Aaron Rodgers out, I think the Packers offense obviously is going to take a huge hit. And even though the Chiefs defense is garbage, I think it will still be enough for them to hold off the Packers.
Yeah, I have a hard time betting on Jordan Love. He's just unproven so far. And Chiefs defense is now top tier now that Melvin Ingram's stepping in. He's going to tear up Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge hit or huge help for their defense. Obviously, I think a little bit how great he is, but he is definitely helping. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs on this one. Mahomes looked a little better. The offense looked a little better. They're on their way up now.
All right, another maybe a good one here. Cardinals, 49ers. Cardinals, Chase Edmonds is questionable. AJ Green is out. DeAndre Hopkins is questionable. Kyler Murray is questionable. And JJ Watt is out for the year. For the 49ers, George Kittle could return. Elijah Mitchell is questionable. And Deebo Samuel is questionable. What do we think?
Give me the Cardinals. So many. Easy money.
Cardinals.
So many injuries. Man, I'll take the Cardinals. I don't know if can they win without Kyler Murray?
Well, he's only questionable, but
Kyler Murray sucks against the 49ers anyway. Honestly, it's not a huge downgrade if he doesn't play.
So that's actually a good point. All right, Stat Boy, what's the Sunday night game?
Titans, Rams. The Rams just picked up Von Miller. Derrick Henry, he's out for the year. Ryan Tannehill is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. And guess who has the most sacks in the NFL?
Is it the Rams, Stat Boy?
It would be the Rams. So we've got some matchups that could be a little bit in maybe the Rams' favor. Let's see.
Question.
For the Titans, Derrick Henry out for the year. Bud Dupree is questionable. Rashawn Evans is out. Julio is questionable. Harold Landry is questionable. And Taylor Lewin is questionable. The Rams, Von Miller, even though he's already here, is questionable. Jalen Ramsey, questionable. Matthew Stafford is questionable. He didn't even practice yesterday on Thursday. And Robert Woods is questionable.
Ryan Tannehill is going to take an absolute beating this week. An absolute beating. He might join Derrick Henry on the injured reserve list or just, he might be dead. We'll have to check up on him after the game.
Yeah.
I don't see how you defend against that new Rams pass rush, even though Von Miller's only been working with his playbook for a week. He's experienced, and he's just talented. I don't see a way that the Titans overcome that defense.
I agree. I think there's absolutely no way. I don't even know how do you game plan when they got the defensive line that they do. You just can't.
They're my new favorite to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, they're absolutely insane.
8 dudes on the line, a fullback to protect the quarterback, and 1 receiver.
You got to put Julio Jones on the line.
Run a no quarterback set. Wildcat all game,
dude. Honestly, if Derrick Henry was healthy, tell me that wouldn't be like a decent tactic. Just putting
that would be an awful tactic.
10 offensive linemen and just Derrick Henry. Hey, I don't know. I don't know why they just didn't do that the whole season anyway.
You don't think McNichols could take that place?
Maybe if they like throw it to him in the backfield and then you move like 7 offensive linemen over and then you could do it.
Yeah, if there's
Hey,
one
dude,
guy who can run
AP
against
is only what 38. He
Yeah,
he can manage.
he's also gonna die. He's
Poor guy.
yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Rams this week. Even if Matthew Stafford doesn't play, I believe John Wolford or Blake Bortles is their backup. I'm not 100% on that.
Trying to go to the Packers.
Okay, never mind. So I think it's John Wolford then. But even so, this Rams defense is going to look insane with Von Miller in it, and hopefully Jalen Ramsey can play this week. But the Rams are just looking too good. They're playing at home, and the Titans' offense I think is going to be lost without Derrick Henry. Really, defenses now only really have to worry about the pass game because it's not like the Titans' offensive line is great anyway. So the Titans are going to have a tough time scoring for sure. So it's not going to take much, I think, for the Rams to win this week. So I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, Derrick Henry was the entire focal point of that offense. It's basically at this point like playing a backup quarterback for any other team in the league. And
Yeah.
like Justin said, unless they're 22, he will not bet on that. So I have to go with the Rams.
All right, last game Monday night. Bears, Steelers. Mike Tomlin is 24-4 against rookie quarterbacks like Justin Fields. Bears have allowed 400 yards and 30 points in back-to-back weeks against the Bucs and the 49ers. The Steelers have won 19 straight Monday night games at home. David Montgomery also expected return. For the Bears, Eddie Jackson and Khalil Mack are both questionable. The Steelers, Chris Boswell, Cam Hayward, and Roethlisberger are questionable. What do we think?
Big Ben's always questionable.
I'm going to go with the Steelers. I just, Justin Fields has been really up and down this season, and the rest of their offense just hasn't really been clicking. They haven't been utilizing Allen Robinson nearly as much as I thought they would, and the Steelers' defense is pretty all right. And with all the stat boy listed off about 19 straight Monday night games, odds are in my favor. I'm tired of losing.
Okay, first off, the Steelers' defense is better than all right. Okay, I know we lost Melvin Ingram, but still, where our defense.
You traded Melvin Ingram.
Okay, we still lost him. Same thing. We lost him in the fact that he wanted to leave, so we lost his commitment, I guess. But anyway, I'm taking the Steelers this week. Like Stat Boy said, I love the stat about them winning 19 straight Monday night games and Mike Tomlin's record against rookie quarterbacks. I have confidence in the Steelers' defense this week for sure, as the Bears' O-line has not been great to Justin Fields. And I think Big Ben's – the offense is finally clicking. They've won 3 games in a row. As long as we have a kicker this week, I think we'll be good to go. So I'm taking the Steelers.
I think it's time to let I'm ready to see that big boy just throw it up there.
Oh, dude, I know.
I would go the Steelers. The Chicago offense is just piss poor. Chicago offense is looking Matt Nagy's going to be on its way back, I'd imagine, and that's just going to make it even worse. And the Steelers defense is looking, some would say above pretty all right. Some would say
above pretty all right.
And the offense is starting to do a little bit better in the beginning of the season. I think there's some moving out from here. So Steelers.
I agree. All right, that's all of our game picks this week. I want to thank y'all for joining us, Stat Boy. Thank you for coming on for a little bit and taking time out of your cult weekend for us. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys like this episode. I think we're gonna try to get somebody on either next episode or the one after that. I'll let you guys know. But you guys have anything to say before we head out?
Fuck you, Stat Boy.
All right. All right. Well, Stat Boy, got anything to say before we sign off?
Love you, boys. Have a fun weekend.
Well, I'll say it for Stat Boy. Go Birds.
Yes, go Birds.
Yeah. Okay, I guess fuck the Birds this week. They're not going to win
as
anyway,
always.
So I guess
Birds.
why even root for them?
Hey, and none of you guys picked the Birds to win. So what's going to happen? You're not manifesting it into existence.
Yeah, I know, but you still got to have confidence behind your team. You just
always. I'm not allowed to do game picks. So I would have picked the Birds if I had a game pick.
We revoked that stat.
Okay.
All right, boys and girls.
See you,
Yes.
boys and some girls. I hope you liked the episode this week. Stay tuned because we're gonna keep it going. And I love you, boys. See y'all next week.